Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be comparing this $450 Montblanc, or however you pronounce it, ballpoint pen that I was gifted to the Uniball Vision Elite, Pilot V5 High-Tech Point, and Pilot G2. Both of these are rollerball pens. This is a gel pen. Okay, so let's see. Should I move over here? Okay, yeah, I probably should. So on the screen here, we have a few tests that I ran with these four pens. The number 1 refers to the Pilot G2 gel pen. Number 2 refers to the V5 High-Tech Point rollerball pen. Number 3 refers to the Montblanc. And number 4 refers to the Uniball Vision Elite. So the first test was to determine writing quality, or just writing quality without actually putting any pressure on the paper besides the weight of the pen itself. I just had the pen rested in my hand and dragged it across the paper, and for number 1, nothing was written actually. It just does not write without any pressure or with its own weight. You have to put significantly more pressure for this thing to write. Number 2, the V5 High-Tech Point wrote very clearly, same with the Uniball Vision Elite at number 4. Number 3, the Montblanc wrote a little bit because this thing is actually a little bit heavy on its own. Well, not even a little bit heavy, it's considerably heavy, so it's able to write on its own just because of that. If it was lighter, it wouldn't be able to. But for the second test, when writing with very little to no effort, the first pen, the gel pen, the Pilot G2, barely wrote anything. It's just terrible. So the rollerball pens excelled in this area in numbers 2 and 4. Number 3, it wrote a little bit when writing with very little effort, and it wrote like pretty decently for a ballpoint pen. Like, it writes much better than a Bic ballpoint pen, but as you can see in this comparison image, even though this pen is called, something that has mystery black ink supposedly, the darkness is nowhere close to the rollerball pens because this is a high viscosity ink, and it's just not cutting it when it comes to darkness and legibility versus the rollerball pens. And so writing with like normal pressure, putting down more pressure that like someone would normally write with, the gel pen writes, there is some skipping, for example, after normally in the S skips, and the rollerball pens don't skip at all. Same with the Montblanc, there's no skipping at all, although it's still not as dark as the other 3 pens. And writing with very high pressure, you can see that all pens write without skipping, but if we look at the smoothness, we can see that the last 3 are the smoothest. So from the first 3 tests, my ranking of these 4 pens is the G2 in last place, the Montblanc in 3rd place, the V5 High-Tech Point in... Actually, no. The V5 High-Tech Point and Uniball Vision Elite are tied at this point. But the reason I prefer the Uniball Vision Elite over the V5 High-Tech Point is because of reasons not captured by this test. For example, the tip on the V5 High-Tech Point is very thin, so if you apply significant lateral pressure, the tip will bend it. You'd have to manually put that back in place, which is annoying. That issue is not present on the Uniball Vision Elite since it does not have that kind of tip. And one other annoyance of the Montblanc is that with this twist mechanism, the ballpoint cartridge is not very stable inside the body. For example, if I'm writing something down, there's play in the ballpoint pen and I can hear it. It doesn't happen at every angle, but it is unacceptable and just not something that's present on the Uniball Vision Elite at all. This pen has the least artifacts. The V5 High-Tech Point does have some weird noise issues, but even though this isn't like technically the smoothest pen in the world, the feedback it has is quite satisfying, and there's virtually zero pressure at all required for this to write. Same thing with the V5 high-tech point, but I prefer the Uniball Vision Elite at this point. If I were to pick one pen to use for the rest of my life, it would be this. It's extremely lightweight. I've been writing with this for several hours, many days. Same thing with the V5 high-tech point, but I've transitioned to the Uniball Vision Elite. It's just a very satisfying pen to write with, being able to see the things you're writing in the purest black ink and being able to write without any effort whatsoever virtually. And yeah, that's why this pen is much better than the Montblanc ballpoint pen. That is $450. I'd like to give a shout out to Yuli, Felix, Smallbill, Christopher Yu, the RFL Reaper, Tripped, Minilos, Gabby D, Fofo, Noodle, Ninja Coma 3, DMS Bringus, Castle 4141, Vsauce 4, Woodacre Snivery. Thank you guys a lot for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Have some really long, dedicated supporters such as Vsauce 4, Woodacre, and Snivery almost at a year now for supporting, so it's a lot of dedication and I really appreciate their support. So yeah, thank you guys. Be sure to join the Apple Aston Discord server if you haven't. Linked in the description. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.